The red basket is back, and today we're going to be talking about some eyeshadow palettes that are on my dooms list. Essentially, this is my version of a chopping block. So if you're curious to find out which eyeshadow palettes I'm considering decluttering, but I want to give them another chance, then please keep on watching. Hi guys, how is everybody doing? It's been a week. It's been a week for us all. I am filming on Friday night of election week, so we're all, of course, still sitting on pins and needles, and I haven't filmed in probably over 2 weeks. It's been so crazy. I haven't had time. I've been really stressed about it, and I keep trying to tell myself not to be stressed about it because YouTube is my fun time and I don't want it to turn into anything stressful. So I wanted to ease myself into filming with something that would be fun, but something that would be appropriate to kind of my entire year-long no-buy project. And I decided that I'm gonna pull out some palettes that I barely use, that I don't really have a pull to use anymore for one reason or another. We're gonna do kind of like my version of a chopping block. I have sort of a running joke where I have Closet of Doom, which is basically a closet of all these things that I either can't fit into anymore because I've gained a lot of weight, or I've wanted to sell for a long time but I have yet to list it, or it's already been listed and just waiting to be sold. I also have a drawer of doom, and that's a drawer of receipts that I keep meaning to budget and account for, and I keep putting off that project. So I decided we're gonna have a basket of doom. Now this is my all-purpose basket. You guys have seen this before for empties, you've seen it before for project pans, and basically whatever else. And for the past week or so, it's been the basket of doom because I've piled a bunch of eyeshadow palettes in here with this video in mind, and it's been sitting on my desk constantly nagging at me. I've yet to use anything in here, but it's nagging at me. And if you guys follow my channel, you also know I am doing Shop My Stash. So I do have a fall season Shop My Stash going right now, and it's also a very, very ambitious one. I can link that up in the iCards for you guys if you're curious to see all the products that I selected. I really went eyeshadow palette heavy, and this is of course also all eyeshadow palettes. So this is not something I plan on finalizing like in a week or 2 weeks, maybe not even before the end of this year. Although I hope, fingers crossed, that some of these palettes I make a decision on sooner rather than later, but you might not see a follow-up on this until, I don't know, maybe January of 2021, because we are, at the end of the day, we are already approaching the second week of November, which is mind-blowing, but it is what it is. I just thought it would be fun to look at some palettes that I am considering decluttering, and I don't know, I just want to give them another chance. I really want them to work, and I'm trying to convince myself that I can make them work. So there's of course a bunch of these types of videos here on YouTube. Some people call it the chopping block. I think Samantha March did a video similar to this where she gave some products in her collection, like the farewell tour, and I have a bunch more products that can fall into this category, and this is just kind of the first go around. I don't want to overwhelm myself. I want to deal with my eyeshadow palettes because it is something I really love, but I also am not using all of my palettes. I want to give the ones I really enjoy more love, more appreciation. And I have to be honest, in 2021 I would like to try a smidge of new eyeshadow palettes, because especially now that I am on YouTube, of course I am curious. Of course I've been watching and following everybody for this entire year and itching to try something new and different. I'm going to be extremely, extremely critical of my purchases and extremely, extremely methodic, I think, about it. And I'm definitely going to put a cap on whatever it is I decide to do in 2021. I don't know if it's going to be a project per se or what, I haven't fully decided, but definitely there are going to be still some drastic rules in place so that I don't go off the deep end. But that's not what we're here for. That is not what we're here for. That is me, as always, going off on a 7-minute tangent, which nobody needs. So let's look through the palettes that I've selected in my basket of doom But before we do, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Natalia. I am doing a year-long no-buy for the entire year of 2020. I am basically discovering my collection as I go, figuring out what it is I like, what it is I don't. I have not done a lot of decluttering yet this year, but it is something I might start doing little by little. I am not one of those people that wants to just purge my collection all at once, because I know that that's then going to make me want to acquire more new stuff in 2021. But this is me dabbling in how is decluttering going to work for me. So if you are also on some sort of a journey where you are either on a no-buy or low-buy, or considering any of those options, or just trying to be more conscientious of what you bring into your life and into your beauty loving collection, then you've come to the right place. I hope that you will consider subscribing and joining our frugal family. And let's jump into this basket. Okay, we have 10 palettes. Didn't even plan it that way, but we've got 10 palettes in my basket of doom that we're going to go through. I have them laid out in front of me. They're actually, for the most part, my smaller palettes, and I did that on purpose. I knew that right now, trying to manage more large size palettes in addition to already the fall shop my stash and whatever else I am doing was going to be impossible. So I wanted to give myself a leeway to create just really specific looks where, you know, I can see if a palette has a look built into it, great. If not, maybe I could pair a couple of these smaller palettes together to create a look. And really all I'm looking to do is maybe use all of these just a couple more times, because I have a feeling I will know right off the bat whether I'm going to want to continue exploring these palettes or not. So how are we going to do this? Let's go with the largest one, and one I actually have used in a previous Shop My Stash. It was my summer Shop My Stash. I never came back and did a follow-up and told you guys about those products, and I'm sorry, it just seemed like that train had left the station by the time I would have gotten around to filming that video. But one of the products I had used was this Ace Beauté, or
somebody please tell me how do you pronounce this. I've heard so many people say it so many different ways. I say Ace Beauté, but is it Ace Beauty? I mean, it does have like a little, whatever that symbol is on top of the E, so that's why I'm pronouncing it as Ace Beauté, but I don't know if that's right.
This is their Scarlet Dusk. I got this in a BoxyCharm, I want to say sometime in 2019. I loved the color story. As I said, I pulled this in for my summer Shop My Stash. I loved the color story. I don't really have too many very, very colorful palettes in my collection, and this was one that I thought was really so pretty. I was really drawn to some of these more burgundy red shades, but I also wanted to play around with some of the brighter oranges. And I have to be honest, I was so disappointed with the quality. I was so disappointed with the quality. I've heard so many mixed reviews on this brand, and because I only have this one palette, it's really hard for me to understand if it's just my preferences and how I apply makeup, or if it's in fact just different formulas and different palettes and, you know, varying degrees of quality control or whatever it is. But unfortunately this one I didn't love, but I really want it to work, because as I said, I love the colors and I don't have too many of especially these brighter orange tangerine shades. So if you guys have this and if you love it, or if you don't but you figured out a way to use it, I would love tips and tricks on what I could be doing wrong, because I am not a makeup artist. I still have a long way to go. Today's look also I struggled with. I was using the Becca eyeshadow palette that is in my fall Shop My Stash, and I have my makeup always listed down below if you guys are curious what is on my face. I really struggled, and again, I don't know if it's the way I apply makeup or if it's the actual product. These shimmers, they're just so thick and so crumbly, and on my aging eyelids, I don't think that flatters me. I don't know if maybe I should be using these more with my finger, which is not my favorite way to apply makeup, but I guess I can give it a go and see if that works out. The mattes were also hit or miss, so I don't know, but I'm just not ready. I'm not ready to just say, okay, I've tried it, you know, 2 or 3 times and really didn't like the experience any of those times, so that's it. I'm gonna just call it quits. I want to give it at least maybe 2 more go arounds and see what happens. So any tips and tricks, please are so highly appreciated with this palette. Another one, I think I mentioned this in makeup products I regret purchasing. This was a video I did in collaboration with a good friend of mine here on YouTube. Her name is Tan, and I'll make sure to link the video and her channel either up in the iCards or down in the description box. But this is a Lorac palette. This is their Santa Monica palette. I think when I discussed this in that video, I had mentioned that I found this at TJ Maxx. In fact, no, I have since discovered I bought this on sale at Ulta, although I have been seeing this at TJ Maxx now. I thought this would be a great travel palette because back when I bought it, I was still traveling, mostly for work. I am a concert pianist and I do occasionally travel for that purpose, you know, when I perform, which right now is not happening. But I thought this would be great because it seemed like a very easy eye look, something not bold, but something I could spice up with a bold lip. And then I would have a blush or 2 blushes. I think this as a highlight might be a little dark for me, but probably could make it work. So I thought this would be a really nice, almost all-in-one palette. And I'm just not gravitating towards this at all. I don't know if that's because I've gotten a little bit more brave with my makeup choices, and now I just find this a bit too bland, even for my pretty neutral and boring self. I don't know what's happening with this palette, but I need to try it at least 1 or 2 more times and see, is it worth hanging on to it? This is something I bought at TJ Maxx or Marshalls. This was in my eyeshadow palette tag video as I believe the least expensive palette in my collection, because I think I only paid about $4 for this. And I do have to say the packaging got me. I thought it was so cute with the reindeer and all. And then I thought the color story was kind of fun and different and unusual for me. It's darker, grungier, but it also still does have a couple of lighter lid shades and then these setting transition colors because I am very pale, so that would work for me. And then there's 2 colors you could use as liner or deepening shades, and then of course 2 deeper colors that are shimmers to work with. And I have used this a few times, and while I like the color story, I don't love the quality. I think again there's some shades that are really flaky and hard to use. I don't own a glitter glue, so maybe that's something I need to invest in at some point once I'm off my no-buy, because maybe that would make a difference. So again, if you guys have tried Mally eyeshadows and you enjoy them, please let me know how do you use them, because while this is cute, if it's something I'm never gonna reach for, why is it taking up space? I live in New York City. Real estate is really expensive here. All real estate, both figuratively and literally. Okay, another palette that I discussed as a regret and bought for the packaging. NARS Provocateur. It has 6 beautiful shades, but I just don't gravitate towards it. This one looks weird because I was trying to take off some hard pan, and this is as far as I got. If any of you know how to take off hard pan without scraping off basically the entire shadow, because this one is a flaky shadow, then I would love tips and suggestions. But again, this is one of those that I thought the color story could be cool. It's not really a me color story. So yeah, I mean, I did definitely buy this for the packaging more than the color story, but I genuinely wanted to use this. I really genuinely wanted to give this a try, see if I could create some really dark, sexy, sultry looks, and so far that hasn't really happened. So maybe for the holidays this year I could bust out some of these more darker, grungier, deeper color stories. On the flip side, I have these 2 Lime Crime palettes. I'm counting them as 2 separate palettes. These are the plushies. I don't have anything else from Lime Crime, so unfortunately I have nothing to compare to. But my complaint with these is just how crumbly they are. They are pigmented, and I have used these, and I think the color stories are so cute and adorable, just like the actual palettes are. But they're just really, I mean, I don't know if you can tell how much kick up there is, even just from swatching, because I think the last time I played with these, I only swatched them. So I have this one, which is so this is in Sweet Blends. I really wanted that blue and this melon smoothie to work. I really love those two colors. And then I also have the Fresh Squeezed. And of course, this one, I wanted all of it to work because I don't have too many colors like this. And some of these are really pigmented and beautiful, but some of these are just meh. And again, can you tell how much kick up there is? How much product is just sitting there from swatching? I don't know. I mean, I used this, not this past summer, but the summer before quite a bit. I really tried to make it work and I haven't really reached for it since. So I've got to see what to do about those. A couple more BoxyCharm acquisitions. This was Naked Cosmetics and that's the only information I have left. I guess something was on the box, but I don't know. These are 3 really beautiful shades. I love this green. I love this burgundy. And while I have plenty of copper shades, this one is extremely beautiful. But because this is all it has in here, and I am one of those people that likes to go into a palette and create a look, I forget about it. I never reach for this and I just feel so bad. I really want to use that green. I want to use that burgundy. I think it would be beautiful. I need to finally give this another chance, actually use some of these shades, see if I fall in love with them enough to remember to constantly reach for them. And if not, I need to give them to somebody who will enjoy them. Another palette along the same lines is this Blink Electric Eyes palette. Clearly this is a BoxyCharm special. I'm sure it's not really available anymore. It says on the back, an electric combination of jewel toned eyeshadows. Swipe these shades across your eyes for a bold look. Now this one I actually would love to use more. Problem is, on top of the fact that it's all shimmers, beautiful shimmers, but again, can't really create a look just from this, the packaging has broken. I don't know if you guys can see that. And I know that's like first world problems, but it's just kills the experience for me. So I've got to try these shadows out again and just see, are they that mind-blowing that I'm going to put up with the busted packaging, or do I just need to let it go? This is a Kat Von D, one of the old little Shade and Light eye palettes. This is the palette where they must have had so much packaging like this left over. They recently came out with like this weird quad under the new KVD vegan beauty line, even though clearly this is still from Kat Von D days. And she had a bunch of these beautiful color story quads. And I actually did use this one for quite a while, quite regularly. This one is in Plum. But then I guess I got a bunch of other stuff, as we all do here in the YouTube makeup loving world, and now I never use it anymore. So I need to see, are these mattes really good? Am I going to continue using this, or do I need to just go through my collection, see if I have comparable shades, remember what they are, so that if I ever want a plummy look like this, I can just reach into that instead and give this to somebody. And then last but not least is the very first high-end brand eyeshadow palette I purchased for myself. This is Sentimental, but it is also extremely gross. I don't know what happened to my Urban Decay Naked Basics. I've tried to even scrub it off and clean it off, which is why you see it's discolored, because I literally had to take off the coating, the fuzzy coating, because it's sticky. I don't know what happened. It was nothing ever leaked on it. It was in a drawer with all of my other makeup and the rest of it is fine. I don't know if it's just the age and whatever they coat it with has broken down, but it's gross. It bothers me. And I have given it quite a good run for its money because it's sentimental and because I really wanted to one day use this up, or mostly use up these shades that I mean, this was what I used for the longest time. I would grab this palette in a little makeup bag with a few other products and I would do my makeup on the subway, especially when I commuted into Manhattan to teach on a regular basis. I loved this palette, but this one is probably gonna go at some point. But I want to give it another chance and just make sure. I just want to make sure. And that's that. Those are my 10 small eyeshadow palettes that are on the chopping block. They are in my drawer of doom, my makeup basket of doom, waiting to find out their fate, to see if we are going to keep them around or let them go. Some of these are really old and would just go in the trash, and of course, as many of these as possible I would try to find another home for, because I have a really hard time of just letting go of products and tossing them out. I don't think it's good for the environment, for the planet. I think there are other people out there that could definitely enjoy these, but I'm not getting rid of them yet. But I definitely think some of these should go, because I don't see how I can possibly use up all the makeup that I own on these two eyelids right here. I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to hear if you have any eyeshadow palettes that are in your makeup drawer of doom that you forget to use for one reason or another, and whether that is something that you plan on getting rid of one day. Other than that, just one more reminder to please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Please like this video. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you guys are all doing really, really well. I hope that you are continuing to stay safe and take care of yourself and those around you, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Bye.
So many fuzzies. These fuzzies. But of course, we have to have the siren, the first siren of the night. 12:33 a.m. Where is it? Is it coming back? Hopefully not. Clearly I have not filmed in a long time. I can't even get 2 words out. I can't even get 1 word out at the moment. And my shirt is falling apart. Total mess. I think I mentioned in that video when I discussed this. Oh my gosh, what a mess. What a mess.